Hello everyone and welcome to Comic Cap. Today's video we are going to compare CGC and CBCS grading. Okay, so what we have in front of us is obviously a CGC book and a CBCS book. And before I get into anything, I just want to say that both of these companies, I would definitely recommend either of them. I wouldn't bash either of them. There's some other grading companies out there that I personally wouldn't use. I would use both of these companies. Before I get into the slabs, I just want to talk about the pros and the cons of both. Typically, CBCS has a longer wait time from the time you send a book out till the time you get a book back. Typically, right now, CGC is backlogged and is taking a lot longer than CBCS. Normally, CGC is definitely quicker. Currently, they are not. All right, so let's get into the slabs. So, obviously, you have your universal grade, which is the blue label book. So, very similar look. CBCS, I think, did a pretty nice job with their new case. You got a metallic looking CBCS in the right corner, to where CGC has the hologram CGC in the corner. One thing that I think does look a little cooler, CGC puts the white behind their grade, to where CBCS does not. It's just whatever it is on top of the blue. The sizes of the slabs, the CGC slab is about less than 1/8 of an inch taller than a CGC. However, it is probably less than 1/16 of an inch thinner than a CGC. The back of a CBCS has a QR code. And what you get with that QR code is wherever you are and you see a CBCS slab, you can scan that QR code with your phone and it brings you to the grader's notes, if there are any, for that book, to where you don't even have to have an account or sign in or anything. You can kind of tell a little bit of history of the book just by scanning that QR code. To where typically higher grade CGC books, you're not gonna have any grader notes on it. You're gonna kind of just get first appearances, so on and so forth, who did the cover art, who did the story, all that good stuff. Okay, so let's talk about pricing to grade the books. So with like the entry level CGC, which I think is like a $25 membership, something like that, it costs you $19 per book for grading for modern books, and modern's 1975 and up, plus shipping. CBCS has a free membership where you don't have to sign up and pay anything. Their opening price point is $18, so it's only $1 difference per book to grade plus shipping. So not a big difference in price. If you do get the elite package, which I think was like 100 and maybe it's not elite, the middle package, it's like 150 bucks. It drops down to, I believe, $18 a book to make it the same as CBCS. And you also get that money back in grading fees. So if you pay $150 for the membership, you get $150 of credit towards grading. So it's basically free, but you do have to front the money. All right, so here you have two signed books, one by CGC, one by CBCS. The difference with these books is the CGC book would have to be done either at a Comic-Con or at CGC, to where this was actually a verified, this was an authenticated book, which was sent in, did not have to be done in front of CBCS, but had to be done in front of a witness, so on and so forth. So you cannot do that at CGC, you can do that at CBCS. So let's say you have an old book signed by Stan Lee a million years ago, CGC won't give you the gold label on that because they did not witness the signature, to where CBCS has a way of verifying it, whether or not it's legit. I believe they use a computer imagery to take a picture of it and compare it to other signatures to make sure it's legit before they give it that label. So And one other thing, obviously, same thing with the QR code on the back of CBCS. Give you to the grading notes, tell you who the signer is if you're not familiar with whoever the writer or artist signer that signed it. And then on the CGC, just the CGC serial number on it. Now, so a verified signature through CGC, you typically, or a non-verified signature, I'm sorry, you typically get the red label, which everybody's like, ew, red label. So CBCS does not, as far as I know, no longer offer the different red label because they have an authorized signature and a verified signature, which I believe currently now both get the yellow label or gold label, whatever you want to call it. And then CGC does offer a green label, which indicates the book has a defect in it, whether it's a staple popped off the cover, missing a coupon in the middle that somebody cut out, whatever the case may be. It's basically your book has some type of defect to it. The CBCS, as far as I know, does not offer a defect label. They would just take it off of the entire grade. And then one more thing with CGC, they also have a purple label, which is a restored book. Restored book, some people don't like it. My opinion is if you have a 0.5 Amazing Fantasy and you can get it restored to a 2.5 purple label, most people would want a 2.5 purple label over a 0.5 blue label, but that's all in the collector. All right, so the verdict. Which one do I like better? From a person that sends books out to get graded, I do feel that CBCS is a little more lenient and fair with their grades, to where CGC is a little tougher. However, if I was buying, I know if that CGC grade is a 9.8, it's a 9.8. Or it's a 9.6, it is a 9.6. And I'm not taking away that CBCS is doing something different or wrong. That's just the luck of the draw that I feel I've had with the two companies so far. And the other thing obviously I like about CBCS is a little bit easier to get signed books with the gold label that were signed years ago, to where CGC does not offer that exact service that CBCS does. Signing events. So let's talk about signing events. CGC constantly has signing events in-house, especially since COVID started. You can go on their site right now. They probably have 10 to 20 artists, writers, letterers, etc. doing signing events, to where CBCS probably has 4. So the signing events that CGC offers are definitely better. Price-wise, they're about the same. However, sometimes CGC gets like actors that obviously they charge a little bit more. Like recently, they just had Wanda and Vision in-house to do a signing event, and it was like $290 a signature. Don't really know what book I would have that I would get $600 worth of signatures put on it, but some people might. Typically, a signature is with the grading is about $70. So if you pay, $20 for a graded books, $25 with shipping, whatever, to get it signed, it's going to cost you about $70 instead. That usually includes the grading fee. Okay, and then I just want to talk about how I say the tough grading, and if maybe it's on a scale. This Carnage on the left, new book, was red, does have a couple light non-color breaking spline ticks in it. Was not even sure if it was going to be a 9, but I wanted to get it graded. Thought it would probably come back an 8, 8.5. It came back a 9. The New Mutants on the right, book was read once, bagged and board almost 30 years ago. Looked as perfect as I would think it would look. Thought it would be 9.4-ish, somewhere in that range, and it came back to 9.0. And if you had these books out, you could not see anything visibly wrong with the New Mutants book, to where you could see some stuff visibly wrong with the Absolute Carnage. So take that for what it's worth. Sometimes, you know, it's the luck of the draw. Sometimes it benefits you, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it benefited me on the Carnage, and it didn't benefit me on the New Mutants. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I would recommend either one of these companies. I think they both do a great job grading. Collectors usually want the CGCs just because they are a little tougher and they've been around a little bit longer. But, you know, going forward, I feel like CBC is making a little bit noise in the industry and starting to kind of hold up to CGC for the most part, to where people aren't like, it's a CBCS book, I don't want it, to where they're almost equal with CGC. Okay, lastly, CBCS does have a asterisk and check mark on their grades from time to time, and you will see this one right here has a check mark on it, which I was very curious why I got a check mark on a book. And that's typically for a book that looks better than the grade or looks worse than the grade. And it kind of explains why of stuff that may not be seen. So if everybody wants to scan that QR code right there, it will tell you that the book appeared to be an 8.0, but it had stains on the back cover that probably could only be seen with a magnifying glass, that brought the grade down to a 5. So, just another interesting fact. I hope you guys like this video. Leave me some comments on what you think. I know people are going to get on me because not a lot of people like CBCS and they like CGC better, but this is my honest opinion of both. I've only sent probably 10 books a piece out so far for each, and you know, these were the outcomes that I've had. Hope you like my thoughts on this. Leave me some comments, and I'll see you guys next time.